got it. I tell all my friends about how you're so about it. When me and you hang out, I always get excited. I never wanna go home, not even the slightest. You're with it, yeah, you're with it. You open up your heart, yeah, I go right in it. I always love hard, I'm never half committed. This is terrific, two people living that reckless love, yeah. Met you when the night was young. I wanna see you at breakfast, love, yeah. Right there with the morning sun. I don't wanna mess this up, no. It just gets better, love, yeah. 100 bullets in my gun, yeah. 100 bullets in my gun. I love it, I love it. My friends wanna hang out, I tell them I ain't coming. My girl wanna hang out, I say I'm all for it. I run like Forrest just to meet her in the forest, yeah. I'm in it, I'm in it. I had a vision and she fit right in it. When she talk, I listen, I'm so committed. This is terrific, two people living that reckless love, yeah. Met you when the night was young. I wanna see you at breakfast, love, yeah. Right there with the morning sun. I don't wanna mess this up, no. It just gets better, love, yeah. 100 bullets in my gun, yeah. 100 bullets in my gun.
Greetings and salutations and welcome once again to the Capeless Crusaders, your #1 supposedly podcast for anything comic book related. My name is David Barry at Dr. Barry on varying social media platforms. To my left, we have...
We're not going to the right?
Nope, that's
Cool.
why I said to the left.
Hi, I'm Amy. You can find me at iJaneUrobot on varying social media, and I am not wearing hockey pads. But over there, on the other side.
To the right.
Someone to rattle the cages. This is the Azorian one, Anthony Steves.
I'm surprised you managed to hold it to just one.
Mm-hmm. There's only one.
There's more later.
Lots of more.
So on the ones and twos, we do have back there, we have Justin Piper at The Mad Piper on Instagram and nothing else. He's also on Pinterest. We also
Just a little bit.
We have Curtis at Calm Down Warning at Existential Romeo and Bart who hates technology.
He does.
That's not actually true. He just hates social media.
That.
So,
and in SoCal.
on this week's episode, oh yeah, we do have, I mean, he's not
here.
He's
He could be
serving
watching.
no purpose. He is serving zero purpose in this podcast. We have Tom at Tall, Dark, Not Ugly on everything,
And Steve's cares.
This week's episode is twofold. Actually, technically, it's threefold. First fold is it's International Comic Book Day. Or is it National Comic Book Day?
It's one of them.
It's
I don't
something
know.
with it ends in
I
national.
don't care. Yeah, it's an National.
It's one of them.
It is National Comic Book Day, which we celebrate by doing a podcast about comic books. So that's all I'm going to leave it at.
That's what we do.
The other thing we are talking about today is it was Batman Day this
It
weekend,
was.
and it was also the 25th anniversary of Harley Quinn.
That's right.
So we are going to be talking about both of them today. Now, when it comes to anything related to the Capeless Crusaders, you can always find us at thecapelesscrusaders.com. That is our website, your home for anything, our social media, our articles. You get links to our Twitch stream. I played the 1995 Game of the Year the other night.
You did. It was really cute.
It was way too much to get it set up.
I thought it was a shark fin.
And it was real-time strategy games on streams, the worst idea I've ever had. Because I'm literally just like, okay, I'm going to build this building.
But you were making
So
all this
what's
creative
everyone else up to?
commentary
What
about
are you
the,
guys doing?
About the orcs and the
Yeah, I like to give the commentary about the orcs. So
there was a lot of it.
on this week's episode, we are going to be going around the horn because we always going to do that. We're going to, for Batman Day, we got a couple segments of who wore it best. We've got a who wore it best for Batman and Harley Quinn. We also have a couple verses. We're going to talk about our favorite Batman books, and then it's going to about wrap it up. So when we are in a comic book store, and we are surrounded by comic books, and it is National Comic Book Day.
National.
We like to go round the horn.
It's kind of a Jimi Hendrix there.
That wasn't bad though.
Thanks.
Well, we got a sound.
I hate everything about you.
Sorry.
When we go round the horn,
My face?
we go around the table in a circular fashion, except for the fact that we no longer have a circular table.
do not.
What we do is we discuss what comic books we have been reading this week.
Okay.
I see.
I want Amy
Uh-oh.
to start us off.
Ladies first.
I know why you said this to me, and it's really mean. So, I don't know. So, in honor of Batman Day being on this last Saturday, I decided to take up for this week reading some other sleuths. So, the one I will start off with the one that I lied about and said that I was going to read, and I never did. Hey, Hawaiian Dick. Yeah. That's
wait a second.
I'm sorry,
Wait,
what?
wait 1 second. Can you say that again? What's that we're reading again?
Hawaiian Dick.
Ah!
It is literally Hawaiian Dick.
Okay.
It is by B. Clay. I think it's B. Clay Morrow. It's out of Image.
bet it is.
It's a web series. I literally just started it. It looks really good. He's a dick in Hawaii, and he's solving crimes. Right now, he's asking somebody about money in a car and drugs. So there's that. The other one that I actually did read and I got fairly far into was the volume number 1 from Max, aka Marvel Max, and it's Jessica Jones Alias, volume number 1.
Classic.
So, of course, she is a spiffy gumshoe, and she's our former. They keep calling her a private dick, but there's just a lot of dick in my reading this week, and I can't handle it. So I'm calling her a gumshoe. Are you okay?
One more time, though. That first story.
Amy
What was it
has
called?
just been reading a lot of dick
Yeah,
this week.
a
and
lot.
She's been just handling and juggling all of it.
All of it.
And she's doing a great job handling
all of it. All of the dicks.
Who's that first one you handled? What was the name of it again?
Hawaiian Dick.
Ah, I
His
see.
name was Bird. He was
Mahalo.
very nice.
Mahalo. Wow.
Anyway, I really like Jessica Jones. I'm sorry, guys.
I didn't see that story coming. Oh,
Barry.
you're welcome.
I'm taking this away.
You're welcome.
I'm taking it.
Good luck, censor.
I meant it in the term of detectives
Yeah, we know.
As
but
did I.
But no one interpreted it as that.
because it's a girl saying it.
Steve's.
Yeah,
Hey, man.
No, it would have been in anybody. What have you been reading?
Oh, about this detective. We're going to call it. No, I'm kidding. I did not read about anything in Hawaii or anyone whose name might be Richard. What I did read was 2 from the Marvel Universe, one after the other. The first one being Secret Empire number 10,
Nice.
the finale. There, look at that image right there. Things don't look good. Things don't look good for us in that image right there. It is the final battle between evil Hydra Cap and they were the Underground. The Underground, yes. And how long has it been out? Has it been out for a few weeks?
Yeah,
already?
Yeah,
you're good.
it's about 2.
All right.
Omega already came out.
Omega's-
You can
yeah.
go.
Okay, so we get the big battle.
Spoilers if you haven't.
And Sam and Bucky have this secret plan using Mr. Scott Lang to go into Iron Cap. Iron Cap.
He's Iron
He's got
Cap.
that glowing star that has the cubic
Cubic zirconium?
the cubic zirconia
No.
that's in there. It's shiny, but not that
But
expensive.
it's not real.
They hop into it, and they are able to pull out from it original Cap. Our that Cap we know and love with the feathery chest, okay? And he is there facing evil Hydra Iron Cap. For those of you that have seen Superman 3, Remember the dumpster fight between Superman and Clark, evil Superman and Clark? That's what's happening in this.
Nobody does.
And look at that at the bottom. What does that look like to you at the very bottom? Goes back to Civil War when Iron Man and Cap fought, but it's Cap versus Cap. It's Iron Cap, evil Cap, and good Cap. It's heel Cap and face Cap.
It's
It was
dual capping.
amazing.
Is it double capping?
And the hammer is picked up by the face and just wham, bam.
Thank you, ma'am.
There it is.
Yay!
Good job. That was good. Evil Hydra Cap is defeated, and Kubik is her name? Is that her name? Kobik. I'm sorry. She is able to bring a majority of our heroes back, but we're meant to be left with the pain of those we lost, including my Black Widow. Nick Spencer, this whole series was outstanding. It was intense. It was so from the very first issue when Cap looks at you and says, "Hail Hydra." Every issue of this has been like, we got a shot. Oh my God, he wins again. And finally we have the victory there. It was incredibly written. It actually leads into my second story, which is Secret Empire Omega #1. And in this story, we now realize we have two captains, two Steve Rogers in our world. We have Original Cap, we have Hydra Cap. And my favorite panel is the breakdown of the two of them together because Steve, good Steve, visits Hydra Cap in his cell, and it's basically them side by side chatting, and you've got one half being Cap's shield and the other half being the Hydra symbol. Cap is kind of in hiding right now. Good Cap is in hiding right now because he still has this this weight over his shoulders that bad things are done in his name, and it's this chat between these two while we see where everyone is right now. And it's not very action-packed. It's dramatic, though. It's kept me connected. Nick Spencer did an outstanding job with Secret Empire, and now Secret Empire Omega. I'm liking where it's going. It's outstanding.
Sweet.
Superman 3. Richard Pryor's in that.
No one. Well, yeah, no. Okay, I do remember that. I only remember it because of Richard Pryor. Nothing else from that movie
Superman.
is in my brain.
What did you read, Barry?
This week,
you read something.
I read two things. One of which was All New Guardians of the Galaxy #9.
Nice.
So I was catching up on the All New Guardians of the Galaxy because I really want to know. They've basically written into the comic that Baby Groot is part of the team, and everyone's like, "Oh, just to sell toys and because of the movie," which you're right, but they at least have a good explanation for why it is. Basically. In this issue, they actually explain why he can't grow. He's sick and he can't get past baby stage. And we've basically determined that someone has amassed a bunch of shards of Groot, planted them and cultivated them, and is growing basically like an army of maniacal, terrifying, monstrous Groots. And because all of the life energy is going to growing them, he can't grow himself. And we basically see in this issue why he was blown to smithereens, all explodey and stuff. It's really good. I'm actually really enjoying it, which I thought I wasn't going to because a lot of people are very critical of how many Guardians of the Galaxy titles have been coming out recently. The other thing I read from our boy Cal Higgins, I read Mighty Morphin Power Rangers #18.
The original crew.
Yeah, the original
Look at that.
crew.
Yes.
With the Transformers and everything. So this is now after the battle with Drakon, however you want to pronounce his name, who was basically the evil Tommy from another dimension who never got away from Rita.
Memories.
It's actually really cool the way they've kind of weaved it all in, that there were so many different seasons of Power Rangers, and basically in this world it's basically different dimensions. There are other timelines where they ended up becoming the ninja and getting the different
Zeo,
swords and stuff. Yeah. So in this one it's basically just the Mighty Morphin. They're the original crew. They're the ones that are doing it. They have all their same Zords. Everything's honky dory, and now they're basically trying to figure out what to do after Rita's been defeated, Draken's been defeated. Their world's kind of at peace, and now they actually get to be superheroes. They get to go outside of their town.
Nice.
They're not just fighting Putty Patrol. They're like, they're going to like China where like a bridge is collapsing, and they're going all over the world and like helping with disaster relief and doing all this really cool stuff. So I'm actually really, really enjoying that. So,
Do you play the theme song when you read it?
every single time.
Yes!
I play the Power Glove version, which is just the heaviest.
That's my
just
man.
just the tap
Yes.
solo. The tap solo. So that's basically going to wrap it up for what we read this week. So, like we said, this past weekend was Batman Day.
It was Saturday.
Which whoever decided it, I don't know why, but this is the
It always
Batman
falls
Day.
in September.
It always falls in September.
Batman Day.
Yeah, Batman Day.
That's really nice, Batman. Day.
So
Beautiful graphic.
That's really
certain
nice.
stores celebrated because it was, like I said, it also coincided with the 25th anniversary of Harley Quinn.
Dr. J.
So certain stores had
Jeepers, Mr.
giving
J.
away books. They were like remakes of classic Batman titles where Harley Quinn was heavily involved. You could go to certain stores and they had masks and they had, you could cut out and you could be kids, you could be the Bat, you could be Harley Quinn. There's all kinds of cool stuff.
Dads could get an actual suit that works. No, they didn't do that.
We had one of our local stores
Is that just
had a bat in.
I mean, I don't have that. Continue, Barry.
Yes, hockey pads. So
Hockey.
what we would like to do, because the Batman is such an integral character in all of our comic.
What?
Yeah, he's
He's
important.
a part of our lives.
I'm hypercritical of him, but he's still important.
You are.
What we would like to do is revisit a couple of things, because we've actually done this before. We have said and decided who we thought was the best looking Batman. So we're going to do it again. We're going to play Who Wore It Best?
Oh.
Batman Edition.
There it is.
Yeah.
Ridiculous sounds
We're
abound.
rewinding it.
in
We're
fact,
bringing it back.
If we went
Bringing
back,
it back. Good one, team.
if we hopped it back into the DeLorean, back to our audio-only days, we
Please don't
had
drive
the
88.
75th anniversary. We had like a full month where it was like 4 episodes. of
We
just
did.
Batman.
We did.
Yeah.
We did. Like, we broke down the Bat as the detective.
Yep.
Like, we did all kinds of stuff.
We
We're
did
not
that.
going to do that this time.
No,
because
go back
I don't
into the
care
archives.
that much about the Batman. But we are going to talk about who wore it best. So the point of
rude.
who wore it best, if you're new to the show, let me explain it, because I like explaining things,
He
because I
does.
love the sound of my own voice.
Yep.
So when we play who wore it best, the idea is that we discuss who is the most aesthetically pleasing version of a character.
Okay.
That can be from TV, from books, from movies, no matter what. Whoever looks the best. Video games, it is all fair game. It is not about the character. It's not about the actor. It's not about the story. It is just about looks. It is the most shallow segment we have.
It's
So-
so
This
is true.
beautiful.
Yes, it is the most shallow segment that we have.
Looks pretty.
So for who
So
wore
pretty.
it best, I am going to start us off.
Selfish.
Okay.
Because I realized I actually didn't pick one for myself.
You
now that
did.
I
Oh my gosh.
It's his own suit.
Yeah, never mind. You go.
Okay.
Oh,
not selfish. So who wore it best? I will always go back because it's both the symbol and also realistic. If he was in the real world, it would be Christian Bale's outfits in the trilogy, both the one he wore in Batman Begins and the one he wore in The Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises. They both, to me, make sense in a real world setting. Their armor, but also allow flexibility, and they look pretty cool too with the symbol and everything. So yeah, the Christian Bale suits.
Sick.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate that. Now, Amy, I know yours,
What's yours?
You should
but
know
I
mine.
still want to hear it. What is yours?
Say it.
Who wore it best?
Say it. Give me a name.
Whenever you're ready.
Not like this. Not like this. So if you guys happen to listen to our CrockerCon episode, you already know who I picked. Also, I got mad props and shout outs from the audience because I picked Adam West. And just because, yeah, you can laugh all you want over there, bro. He was the first one to don the suit. He made your boy look extra pretty.
Oh, yes.
Also, his bat nipples were real. So
It's true.
This is true. Yeah, when he was cold. Yeah.
That was legit. Those were not.
were legit
Those were not
nipples.
crafted into his
No,
costume.
no,
those
were-
were pure
Yeah.
Adam West nipulars.
Yeah, Clooney. Yeah, Kilmer.
but side note, my runner up is always Keaton.
Well,
So yeah, so your runner-up was Keaton from
Batman.
'89.
Yes.
Your runner-up,
Keaton 92.
Keaton '92, which there is a difference.
Yes, the 89, it looks like more like sculpted human abs. Mm-hmm. And Batman Returns, he had more what looked like armor-plated abs on it. That was the difference.
That's pretty much it.
Yep.
So I do remember.
We both like Keaton.
I did pick
We
one.
do like Keaton.
I just didn't write it down because I'm a dummy.
Oh, it's okay.
I actually, one of my favorite versions of Batman is actually recently, because I've recently delved back into the New 52.
That's right.
And Mr. Capello, or Capullo, or whatever.
Capolololo.
Mr. Greg Guy, he is what he's doing with Batman is great, because I actually read a breakdown where someone interviewed him and they said, hey, how do you draw your Batman? And he said, I start with the cowl and the neck. And that is how you define a good Batman. So he has a very strong cowl into neck, shoulder symmetry.
Legit.
Yes,
It's too legit to quit.
Too legit to quit. So I really enjoy his interpretation of Batman. Like, I know a lot of people, like, before we were like Jim Lee, and Jim Lee's good. Jim Lee is amazing. Jim Lee and like Hush and stuff like that, like totally one of the greatest. That being said, I think Capullo has given us a modern classic.
And kind of the way he draws it too, you have that classic look to him, but then you have these lines that appear like armor, like the line on the gauntlets, and
it makes more sense. So now, I know Piper. His is always and will always be the animated series. That is his Who Wore It Best, which I think is totally valid because it also has good cowl to shoulder neck ratio.
That it does.
And it's
Yes, that is the thing. So now, do we agree on any Batman, or is it just one of those where we've all got our opinions because there's been so friggin' many of them?
well, on the technicality, Steve's and I actually do agree on Keaton.
On
as
Keaton.
Bat.
We like Keaton, yeah.
Keaton got the most votes.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
votes.
Volts. He got
Volts.
volts.
He
That
got the
power
votes.
So
his
many
car
votes.
in
He
his
got the
suit.
votes there. So we're gonna give it to Keaton.
Oh, we up there in North Dakota.
Ooh, yeah, you betcha.
We're gonna do Wisconsin.
Yeah, Fargo. Oh, yeah, there you go.
The Packers.
Rogers.
Yee.
Rogers.
Do you want
Anyway.
a soda or a pap?
Soda or pap. So, because it is also the 25th anniversary of a character who debuted in none other than the Batman animated series, who has become oddly popular over the last couple of years, and that is Harley Quinn. So, I'm going to say, who wore it best? Harley Quinn.
Get two
So-
options.
Do we even? You have two options.
No, we don't have two options. We all picked the same one, and then Steve's has one runner-up.
Which you know who it is.
We literally said animated series.
Animated series.
Animated series
Yeah.
with runner-up.
Margot Robbie.
Yeah,
and Piper screams, animated series.
animated series. So
Jeepers, Mr. J.
I think it's not that I don't appreciate what they've done with her recently with the half red and half black hair and the blonde with the blue and the pink like the Margot Robbie. For us it was always, she was like this classic like jester like character with the big mallet and everything.
Mr.
And
J.
just read Amy's mug in the camera. That's how gigantic it is. So I think that's the first time we all agree.
We agree.
on
She's
Who Wore It
definitive.
Best.
She was the originator. She crosses that line between being Dr. Harley Quinzel and
Yes.
Harley Quinn. Nobody pulls off being a Harley Quinn like her.
Amanda Connor.
Ever.
Yes.
Yes, this one was designed by Amanda Connor, including considering that you can get 4 variations,
Ooh.
which is Spacesuit, Holiday, and then Superhero, which actually is in Harley Quinn and Power Girl, which was a team up like 2 or 3 years ago.
I want the holiday outfit. Just because holidays.
It's fleeced.
I think I liked the way her character was in the animated series. I don't know if I necessarily enjoy
Margot.
not even the Margot, just the attention that she's gotten the last couple of years. It's basically she's become a strange character to be a hero and a role model considering her circumstances. So on that note, because she does come from a violent and sordid past, I think maybe we should, instead of doing some Who Wore It Best, we should do some verses.
Main event.
Okay, that was
Jinkies.
that was the start screen. That was the select your fighter.
Yes.
So we're gonna play a little bit of verses. We're gonna start with
Ryu.
the Bat
Oh.
because the Bat is the Batman days and so forth.
Not Ryu?
So not Ryu.
Not Ryu.
So we have a couple of verses, and I'm gonna say Batman versus Taskmaster. Ooh. So for those of you who are unaware of who Taskmaster is, because you better know who Batman is at this point, Taskmaster is a Marvel character, and his ability is that as long as he watches you fight, he will memorize your fighting style. So he can literally combat almost anyone as long as he gets a chance to watch their fighting style. So he usually is really good at besting the hand-to-hand fighters. When he goes toe-to-toe with Frank Castle, they're able to go, shot for shot because he's able to predict basically everything that he's going to do. The only people who are really able to outsmart him are people like Deadpool, who's extremely unpredictable because he doesn't actually have a set fighting style because he's insane. And
He's
he
funny.
has so many voices and so on and so forth. So, Batman, the detective, the fighter, he's prepared for everything. He is the Dark Knight versus the man who, if he sees you fight once, he has you down pat. Who's going to win?
he'd never see me.
Yeah, of course.
He wouldn't see me coming.
Yeah, well,
And then bam, back of the head, he's gone.
is that your answer?
Yeah.
So your answer. So you think he would get the drop on Taskmaster?
I think he's known for, I mean, Taskmaster, I haven't heard much about him being someone who hides in the shadows, whereas we know the Bat is known for being over in the corner without you knowing that he's there when the lights are out and being in the shadows. And Taskmaster, hey, where are you, Bat? Nope, got him.
Counterpoint.
Ooh, we're on that show.
So, given that this is a crossover universe, we assume that all characters have access to media, medias.
All the Medeas.
They have access to television, to news reports, to YouTube. So, Taskmaster doesn't have to be in person. He doesn't have to see you fight. He could just Google you and go on YouTube and be like, "Hey, cool! I can watch a couple Batman taking down some hooligans and some shenanigans and some henchmen."
Yeah, okay.
So
All right, okay.
he would be able
All right.
to, in theory, memorize. So it would really come down to is getting that drop.
Which fighting style was he using in that video?
Oh,
But and that's the thing that I would be struggling to do as well, because it comes down to if we're paralleling techniques and the Bat always being prepared. If you're reading Dark Knight's Metal, you know what he's been doing to throw some people off his trail. So as much as I think Taskmaster, if he's got the opportunity to research him well enough, he might be able to get most of it. But
Yeah.
Bruce is scrappy. He actually
There's like-
I think he might take this one.
So wait, so we're gonna go with the whole Batman is always prepared for everyone and beats everyone.
I'm going
line
with
of
the
thought.
I'm going with the Batman might drunken master this.
We're gonna go with the playground rules. Batman beats everybody.
Yeah.
No, that's Hulk beats
Well, there's
everybody.
plan A, B, and C. Remember, Batman, I think, has plan through every alphabet and then into the double digits of numbers.
Also, he has Alfred, so he might just throw him in there.
And there's Alfred. Yeah, Alfred might have like a 9-iron. Yep, got him.
Because you didn't say there could
You didn't
be
see Alfred
anybody.
coming, did you? Nope.
Nope.
Didn't see the Team Crumpets.
Nope.
Tag team.
Yay.
Got him.
All right. Well, I will agree. I will agree. Here's the thing. In a straight fight, this is the problem. Is in a straight fight, we can never really say. But given the way most people have written Batman over the last 30 years, I will agree that Batman will most likely be prepared and ready to go and ready to handle Taskmaster, or he will have gone and specifically found the one guy who lives on the one mountain in the one country who knows the one martial art that Batman has not learned yet. He will spend 6 months learning it, then face off with Taskmaster with no footage of him have ever learned it, and he would somehow use that to beat him because
He's Batman.
he's Batman.
And he has money.
And 2 points. I'm biased, and two,
Two.
Taskmaster sounds like a program for my computer to help me with my tasks. I mean,
That's
come on.
Manager.
Oh, I can't. I need my Taskmaster. Can we download the Taskmaster, please? I have so many files. Yeah, Batman.
You're cute.
He thinks he's adorable.
I mean, I do have a dimple or two.
So to be fair, Taskmaster has recently been relegated to more or less training henchmen.
I didn't know
Because-
that.
He has. That's the sad part.
Well, it's not even. It's brilliant.
Okay.
Because since he knows all the heroes' fighting styles, AIM, Hydra, Hand, they're all going to send their recruits to him.
That makes sense.
Because he's going to be like, oh, yeah, you want to fight Daredevil? This is how you beat Daredevil. They're not actually going to because none of them are that talented.
Yeah.
But he can make just oodles and oodles of money because he knows everyone. So instead of being the mercenary now, he can be the trainer.
That makes
So-
sense. That makes sense.
In other words, you got to pay for services rendered.
Exactly.
All right, he's not a program on a computer. Got it.
Yeah, fair enough. Whatever. So I think we're going to give this one to the Bat.
The Bat.
Just because, I mean, I'm
It's the
outvoted
Bat.
and I'm biased.
The Bat.
So another interesting one, again, pairing off the Marvel versus the DC universe.
Okay.
We're going to have Harley Quinn versus the I can't remember which one she is.
She's
Gwenpool.
unbeatable.
Unbeatable. No, she's unbelievable.
Is she unbeatable or unbelievable?
Squirrel Girl is unbeatable.
Why is it Shining Harley?
I like Shining Harley. That's a pretty cool
Yeah,
image.
that's the image that I tracked down. I tried to get close up of faces, and I couldn't really do it.
I like
So, for those of you unaware who Harley, no, Harley.
Oh, Harley Quinn.
Who
If you don't know
Gwenpool
who Harley is,
So Gwenpool is a character
watching
that
the
came
wrong
out
show.
of the mass popularity of Gwen Stacy being returned into the Marvel Universe via
And
Spider-Gwen. So the combination of the two. She comes from a universe where there are no superheroes. There are no supervillains, but she is a big comic book nerd and has read about every single one. So when she gets teleported into our universe or when people pop up in her universe, she's ready to take them on because she's like an encyclopedia of information. She's also kind of off the wall, kind of bizarre.
a little bit.
However, she has no superpowers.
And she has no pants.
She just has, she has no pants, and no superpowers. She just has a huge, just a massive amount of knowledge and otherwise disregard for her own safety. As opposed to Harley Quinn, who, depending on what version you are, sometimes she apparently has superpowers and sometimes she doesn't. Again, just pure insanity and decent hand-to-hand combat.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and a mallet.
who would win versus Harley Quinn, Gwenpool? Go. Exactly.
No. It's fairly easy, actually.
Oh,
go, Amy.
Amy's ready to go.
Big mallet. And a nerd girl with no powers. And no pants. I'm sorry, sweetie. You're going down to Harley.
But
Is she wearing a long sweater? Is that what?
No.
So what
no,
happened?
she's
So
like-
the
she's
entire
like
run
short
is she
shorts.
has
Oh,
like
gotcha. Okay.
it's a jumpsuit with
Got it.
long sleeves and
Got
a
it.
hood. They ran out of fabric, and that is literally one of the running jokes of the book is that they're not getting the fabric back in, and she asks every couple months, so she doesn't have pants.
Okay. All right. Gotcha.
So, yeah, I mean, they both have big mallets, actually.
I know, but for optimism goes to Gwen, but really when it comes down to it, she's going to literally get her face smashed in with a big mallet from the crazy chick.
I could see that.
Yeah, and Harley Quinn also, I mean, if we want to go back to the whole, like,
We could always get her some Smilex.
access to media stuff, Gwenpool isn't going to, there aren't going to be DC comics in this universe, so she's not going to be aware of how to beat them. But she is super unpredictable and has access to tons of weapons, just like Harley Quinn. So I feel like, if anything, they would wail on each other for a couple minutes.
And then get distracted.
Yeah, realize they want to be friends and go.
I could see that.
Best
and
friends
just
forever.
go on
Ring.
do all their own things. So yeah, so we're gonna have one of those stupid times where we don't come up with a versus. We instead have peace, and they become friends.
Oh.
Yay!
Is this like the Gotham City Sirens?
Oh, but with
Yeah.
this,
So
they get to move in together?
With Gwenpool. Yeah, and they play baseball.
I like
Yeah.
it.
Wait, no, it's bombshells.
Oh.
No, that could count still.
Yeah, baseball.
Yeah.
Baseball.
So, because it has been Batman Day, well, I guess it's technically Batman Week, we would like to revisit our favorite Batman books, favorite Batman comics of all time.
All time?
All time.
All time.
So, this is tough because there's been a lot of them. There's been a lot of good ones. There's some going on right now that could,
so good.
you know, unseat other ones. But
The war.
given what we have now, Steve's, you're wearing the symbol. You got it on your PJs.
Also wearing my PJ bottoms. Look at that, huh? Look at that guy, huh? Look at that. That's what you do on Batman Day. 2 days later. Yeah?
So because of all that,
Yeah.
what is your favorite Batman book of all time?
It's a tough one.
Yeah.
Hey, it wasn't me this time with the mug. There's quite a few I enjoy, but I'm going to go with the one that was the first graphic novel purchase I ever made because I bought it shortly after becoming a Crusader. It is currently right here at the bottom of my stack here, and you'll see it here shortly. It is the Jeff Loeb, Tim Sale classic, The Long Halloween. There it is right there. First one I read, I was that at that time the guy was like, well, so all these issues form like one whole big story arc? I didn't know that. It's crazy. That was a Steve's back in the first year of the Capeless Crusaders. So I read this guy, and it's like 200 something pages. And
It took him 3 years.
it took me 3 years. I just finished it. It's great. Tells the whole story of Harvey Dent becoming Two-Face while Batman is hunting down what's being referred to as the holiday killer. That starts on Halloween, and it goes a full year through all the holidays. And every holiday and every month, someone dies. It's a Falcone, it's a Maroni, it's any of those guys. It is the inspiration, of course, to The Dark Knight with the Harvey Dent story. And there's even elements of Batman Begins in here as well. But the story itself is incredibly written. I did my history on who Jeff Loeb was and who Tim Sale are. I realized it's the middle of a trilogy because you have Haunted Night before it and then Dark Victory, which introduces Dick Grayson in it. But this story here was intense, dramatic, intriguing. It is a tragedy because it shows the breakdown of Harvey Dent into becoming Two-Face and how Batman deals with that, him and Gordon, and that whole angle is there. There's even the copy that I have has an intro by Christopher Nolan and David S. Goyer, which is outstanding. But yes, my favorite, above all, Batman, The Long Halloween.
Sweet. Thanks for that.
I got emotional there.
Yeah,
That's
man.
really good, man.
Brought back Crusader memories. I'm going to read it again.
Yeah. I don't know why we had you on the podcast originally. You were just a complete lack of. You were just useless.
I was just movie guy.
So, Piper also provided his, which of course was Hush, which we're not going to talk too much about because, it was a fantastic book, but we're not going to go into too much details about it other than the fact that Jim Lee was super talented. For those of you unaware, we are audio only right now. So, Amy,
Yes.
what was your favorite Batman book of all time?
Since I'm only audio, can I use my Dang, I can't use my audio.
She's back
She
visually.
was going to get all husky.
Oh,
I was.
Let me tell you.
Let me tell you.
It has to do with
about
Hawaii.
Batman. No, it doesn't. Oh, sorry, guys. Your headphones. I need to do that. Okay. So I actually was torn between two books for my choices. Barry ended up picking my other one because he's a jerk.
Whoa. You changed yours, so I took your other one.
Because it's so good. It's so good. Anyway, the one I actually finally decided on was Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo's The Court of Owls, which is, you were saying Capello. Capullo. It is one of the best things to come out of the New 52, hands down. The story doesn't just hearken to Gotham Gone By or pitting Batman against some sinister force. This is like the essence. This is the mice in the house that you don't know are
So
there. It's so weighty and meaty, and it's just, my favorite word is unctuous currently, so I'm calling it unctuous. The Court of Owls, if you haven't got a chance to read it, is probably sold out in almost every single comic book store currently in Sacramento, as well as the Volume 2. So the big villains are the Court of Owls. They have infiltrated Gotham down to its heart. They were there at the founding, and Batman is just realizing who they are. It also starts him to realize not only is he trapped in this, spoilers, labyrinth by the court, he also comes to find out that one of his wards is actually been chosen by the court upon his death to become an assassin for them. Gasp. So it is becoming the Talon, but it is a fantastic read. The art's amazing. It holds up really well. If one of the only things that I truly can recommend coming out of the New 52, it is Batman: The Court of Owls.
It shows you that moment where Bruce doesn't have an answer.
Yep.
He's weakened. So good.
And
Which is why I liked it so much.
Scott Snyder.
Because I got to see him finally not being like, hey, you're prepared for everything. You weren't prepared for this.
And the best part is
you
it's
got
really
fantastic
easy to cosplay, and it's super duper creepy. And if you want to see that, you should check out our Instagram.
It's on our website.
Yes. So,
Barry?
while I am amongst the most critical of the Batman amongst anyone on this podcast, I will hands down say that all the time. I hate how much Batman wins. I hate how he's always prepared for everything. That being said, if you go into my comic book collection, you will realize that half the books I recommend to you will be Batman books. He is part of the pillar of my my comic collection, my comic experience. Batman is quintessential when it comes to any comic book fan. So that being said, amongst our choices, I just, Piper and Hush being one of just the greatest Batman stories ever told. Amy with The Court of Owls, I didn't read it until 2 months ago, and I want more. It was
You're
great.
floored.
Yes, I am floored. And the entire Dark Victory series, just taking that just dark Jeff Loeb style to it. And of course, it was originally gonna be my pick, but then I nixed it, which was The Dark Knight Returns by Frank Miller. Because of course, Frank Miller being the crazy, just terrible person that he is, still wrote just one of the greatest Batman stories of all time. So that being said, speaking of crazy people who are probably actually really bad people at heart, my choice for my favorite Bat book of all time is none other than Alan Moore's The Killing Joke.
Ooh.
Yes.
So good.
In my collection.
This is my number 1/2.
I have 4 copies of this book.
4 copies?
I have 4 copies of The Killing Joke. The first one, it was the very first, almost positive, it was the very first purchase I ever made at Empire's Comics Vault, beyond Free Comic Book Day. I remember walking in. It was when Ben was at his old location. It was up on the wall. It always had the sun coming through the cracks. And I look up and I just see the Joker in this bright green writing, and it just says The Killing Joke, and he says smile. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go with that. It was $10 because it was a reprinting of it, and I was all about it. And I read it, and I read it 3 times in a weekend. I was sold right out the gate. Despite the fact, like I said, that Alan Moore is creepy and uses just some twisted imagery. It was great. It was wonderful. Since then, I've picked up second, third, fourth printings of it. My father-in-law gave me a couple of his. I think as far as Batman stories go, it's one of those ones where it's not just about Batman. He's really not the main character. He's more of just a supporting player in a really big story, but it's all about him. It's about what the effects the Joker can have on Babs, on Jim, how it can affect the Batman, because the Joker is always about Batman. It's not about Gotham for him. It is never about Gotham. It's never about Dent. It's never about Gordon. It's never anybody except Batman, but using all of those to get to the Batman.
How much can I push Batman?
How much can you push? So The Killing Joke is just a perfect example of when Batman doesn't need to be the focus of the story, and it can just be a great Batman story. Despite, like I said, all of its issues, its controversies with the sexual nature, the violent sexual nature of some of the story, it still is just an exemplary Batman story that I would recommend to anyone, hands down, just any day of the week. Alan Moore, again, despite all his weird his weird wizardry,
evil Gandalf,
evil Gandalf living in a hamlet somewhere outside of Edinburgh,
Edinburgh,
whatever. He's still one of just the most important writers to ever touch a comic book page, and everything that he's done. So, yeah, it's good. So, and right now, I mean, there's so much good stuff going on with Batman. It's a great time to jump on. The Dark Knight's Metal story that's going on right now. Scott Snyder has been setting this up for years.
Literally years.
There are breadcrumbs throughout his entire tenure with the Bat that are being dropped amongst and put in there. It's Court of Owls. Just it's all connected and hashtag it's all connected. So it's really, I mean, it's there's always a great time to check out Batman, but there also is Batman for all ages. There are the Batman Brave and the Bold. There are there's the animated series. There's the cartoons for the kids.
Batman 66.
Batman 66. For those of you who are really big fans of the original series, it has a comic book, and it's actually really entertaining. It's doing really well.
And he doesn't like it, but it's great to bring it up.
Out of respect for West, I'm just nodding. Out of respect. I'm holding back. I'm nodding and smiling.
You're like one of those people that's like, I don't like,
somebody get him the big bomb.
This founding father did this, so I'm going to just disregard everything that he did. And it's like, well, yeah, no, totally. It's 100% valid, but at the same time, we wouldn't be here today if not for Adam West.
Yep.
You wouldn't have that logo on your chest.
He was if
not for Adam West and Burt Ward.
He was a great mayor.
He was
a great mayor of Quahog.
He was an amazing politician, and he touched all of our hearts.
Yes.
Rest in peace, Adam West. So that's going to about wrap it up for this week's episode of the Capeless Crusaders, celebrating Batman Day, celebrating the 25th anniversary of Harley Quinn, celebrating National Comic Book Day. I still don't know if it's national or international, but at
either
this
way,
point,
national.
Who cares?
But national
We
works.
the best. So, for the Capeless Crusaders, my name is David Barry at Dr. Barry on varying social media platforms. Check me out this week. I will be continuing to play the 1995 Game of the Year on Twitch.
It'll
be
What's everyone doing?
I'm building boats.
What's on TV?
To my right, changing it up.
You never said thank you.
And you'll never have to.
This is the Azorian one, Anthony Steves.
Sending it over to Babs.
Wait, I'm Babs?
I called you Babs, yes.
Yes! Oh my gosh. Hi. Sorry. Distracted. I'm Amy. The stuff says it. You can find me at IJNewRobot on all the things with the stuff. Don't add me on Snapchat. I'm not going to click. I'm not going there. But Jeepers, Mr. Barry.
Oh, there you go. That's not. We also have on the ones and twos, we have Justin Piper at The Mad Piper
Mad
on
Piper.
Instagram and nothing else. We have Curtis Fisher at Calm Down Warning,
Calm
at
Down
Existential
Warning.
Romeo. We got Bart not participating in social media.
Nothing.
Just the bar.
We have down in Southern California, we do have Tom not participating either. At
Terry
Tall, Dark,
McGinnis.
Not Ugly on everything. As always, you can find anything related to the Capeless Crusaders at thecapelesscrusaders.com. You can find our blogs, our YouTube, our Twitch, so on and so forth. The next con we're going to go to, our con wrap-up video. It's always tons of fun. So, for everyone here at the Capeless Crusaders, for Batman, good night.
I'll get my car.
I brought mine.